Hey guys, it's Pikmin Toad 121, and I'm ranking all of the games I've played. Well, not all of them I've played, just all of them I remember enough to rank. They're all here in tierlistmaker.com. Okay, so we have S through F, skipping E because no one likes E. Starting with New Super Mario Bros. U. I think it's the worst of the New Super Mario Bros. Games, just because it was the fourth entry and, they just ran out of ideas. They tried to go for the Super Mario World type overworld thing, but that doesn't really change much. So I'm gonna put it in C tier only because, it's refined and all that stuff, but, it's still just not really that great. It was just not that special. Next we have Super Mario 3D World, plus Bowser's Fury. I'm including the better ones for Wii U port, or if I played the Switch ports of the Wii U game, I'm including it. 3D World plus Bowser's Fury was pretty good. I haven't actually played Bowser's Fury yet, but I've heard very good things about it, so I'm gonna put it in A tier. I really missed the game after not playing it for a while. I was obsessed with it when I was in elementary school, and I just have to say it's a really good game overall. Smash Ultimate. Here's the thing about Smash Bros. It's an awesome concept and an awesomely put together game. It's just, I've learned from playing Pokemon that the more you understand the inner workings of a game, the less fun you have when playing it casually. So that's why I'm not really a huge Smash fan. I mean, it's still an all-around great game, but I'm still just and that's why I'm putting it in A tier, but I just hate fighting people in it because, well, frankly, I'm not very good. It's still a very well developed and well put together game. Next is Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm sorry, but I really, really don't like this game. I mean, it's not like it's particularly bad. I just don't like the genre really that much. And I mean, I haven't really completed it, but how do you complete Animal Crossing? I got it and used it and just never really played it since like a year ago. I'm sorry, I have to do this. Captain Toad. I really like this game, I have to say. The fact that you can't jump and the puzzles that you have to do around it are very creative, to say the least. That's why I'm putting in A tier. Emerald. The one problem I had with it was the level curves. Like, you have to do a lot of grinding. I feel like they tried to make it harder, but it just didn't really work out because the level curves were insane. I found myself having to do a lot of grinding, especially for the Elite Four, and that's why I caught the Rayquaza. Luckily they offer that, but it just feels kind of cheap, And the fact that you can't really get any pseudo-legendaries till post-game. I just don't really like when they do that, when there's only one really big battle left. So yeah, I'm gonna put it in C, and that's really the only problem I had. Hey Pikmin got a lot of hate because it wasn't a traditional Pikmin game, and I don't know why people hate it so much. It's not a fundamentally bad game. I mean, I really enjoyed it, and it might be rose-tinted glasses because I'm Pikmin Toad 121, It's my name, but I just feel like it didn't deserve all the hate it got, but at the same time, the levels kind of feel samey, if you know what I mean. Like, except for a few select levels in the game, they all kind of feel like they don't really add much to each other. Like water levels, okay, whatever. There's a whole bunch of water levels in the game, but that's really the only problem I have with it. So I'm gonna put it in B tier, just because some of the levels were not very memorable. The enemies and the visuals and stuff were all really good and the mechanics too were all really good for the 3DS. Next is Minecraft, and here's the thing about it, Sandbox games, I really like them, but Minecraft just gets boring after a while, I found. I mean, there's only so much you could build. I built a lot of stuff in the game. Survival mode is probably not, I mean, I get why they added it, of course. It's just not as good as other survival games like Terraria, which is also on here. I feel like it's mostly a building game, and the survival aspect is just there, not really like an afterthought, it's just there, for me at least. So I'm also going to put it in B tier. Mario Kart 8. I only played the Wii U version for extended periods of time. I don't have 8 Deluxe. I played a lot of this game when it first came out. Like, this and Pikmin 3 were the 2 games I really wanted a Wii U for. I don't really like the drifting. I mean, Mario Kart Wii drifting, hate it if you want. But I still think it offers the most fun out of any other game in terms of, like, if you get really good at it, or at least decent at it, you can do a lot of tricks. But in Mario Kart 8, I just feel like they balanced it too much, if you know what I mean, where it's just not as fun as Mario Kart Wii. And I'll get to Mario Kart Wii, but I think the track design's really nice. The mechanics are really refined, despite it being overly balanced. And overly balanced can be a good thing. I just feel like in Mario Kart 8, no vehicle really does anything better than any other. I just don't notice it in the game. Whereas in Mario Kart Wii, you can really notice if stats are different, but not in Mario Kart 8. That being said, I'm still putting in A tier because I had a lot of fun with it, and it's just so refined. Mario Kart Double Dash is my favorite Mario Kart game. I'm putting in S tier just because of that. The 2 players per kart is just so awesome. Like, there's so much fun to be had. I play it with my friends a lot, or I used to before current world event, and I just haven't really picked it up since. The tracks are awesome. I don't even think there's one track in the game that I particularly hate, unlike other Mario Kart games. Yeah, that's why it's an S tier. Mario Kart DS. This, I understand why a lot of people like it, because the missions, they're great. They implemented it really well. And the snaking is, it's like kind of like Mario Kart Wii, where you can really notice the difference in stats, particularly with drifting. And the retro tracks, bringing in retro tracks was great. I just feel like a lot of the tracks, the retro tracks especially, some of them were gimped. Like Mushroom Bridge, no longer having, like, you can't go up the bridge anymore, and you can't do that cool pipe shortcut, quote unquote shortcut. I mean, I know it's a DS, but I've seen ROM hacks of the game that do a lot with the DS hardware. I can actually play it on the original hardware using an R4 card. I think it just had a lot more potential than Nintendo gave it. I mean, in terms of, like, the track design, but the missions were probably, like, the highlighting feature, and I can really understand why a lot of people like it. Mario Kart Super Circuit. I bought it on Virtual Console on the Wii U, and then later on legit cartridge. I don't know why people hate it so much. I mean, of course the visuals and the mechanics, it's kind of like floaty and slippery in terms of, like, actually controlling the kart. And some of the stages are broken, like especially Ribbon Road. You could do that amazing shortcut that just cuts off in like 2 turns. And it was actually the first game that kind of sort of introduced retro tracks, including all of the Super Nintendo tracks. That being said, they kind of gimped those too, despite having all of the materials to put them in the game. Put, like, all the extra features, like there's no pipes or oil slicks or anything, even though they could have done it. I feel like it's the same thing as Mario Kart DS, and that's why I'm putting it in C tier. Mario Kart Wii. I like this game a lot. It was my actually first Mario Kart game. I had a lot of fun with it. I love how the character roster was expanded vastly from Double Dash and DS to include oddballs like Dry Bowser and Funky Kong. Like, no one, why is Funky Kong in the game? He used a flame runner with and just dominate. I kind of like how unbalanced the game is, because you can really feel the difference between using different karts, and especially flame runner and stuff. But that does bring a whole host of problems, being when you play online, and yes, the online still exists, you only see 3 karts or bikes, because karts don't exist online. The tracks, a lot of people hate some of them, but I don't really have a problem with them. Only really, and in fact it actually has my favorite Mario Kart track, Maple Tree Way. So I have to put it in A tier as well. Slightly better than Mario Kart 8, but pretty interchangeable really, depending on how much I play one. Mario Party 10, I've only played this a couple times because I don't actually have it, but the very few times I did play it, I remember just not having any fun unless I was Bowser, just because Bowser is so overpowered in this game, and if he catches up to you in the cart, which is already a bad mechanic, like why are we in a cart? It's just really hard to win. And the person, I just feel like Bowser has too much power, and you know, it just doesn't work for me. I'm putting in F tier. Mario Party 8, of the Mario Party games I've played, it's my favorite. I haven't played all of them. And the reason is just because of that one map, Koopa's Tycoon Town or whatever it's called. I really liked cities growing up, so that was another reason why I really liked it. I'm putting this in B tier. I mean, opposed to other games, it's not really something I would play by myself. It's a party game. And really that is the only map that I remember, because I don't even think I played any others. That's the only one I played. I don't remember any of the mini games. Mario Party Star Rush, I was really hyped for this when it first was announced, because I was like, wow, we don't have to wait, we don't have to sit around and wait for each other to go. Just go all at once. But the boards just aren't that interesting, and the mini games aren't really that interesting either. I like the ally like you can recruit allies to help you, and they get special perks. I like that mechanic a lot, because it throws a whole other thing into the mix. That being said, the mini games, I don't remember any of them. At least you could play them on your own. I don't know, I'm just putting it in D tier, just because the boards were not that interesting and the mini games aren't that memorable. There are a few good mechanics though. Actually, I'll put it in C tier. Nintendo Land. I have Pikmin Adventure is by far the best mini game here. I think I played all of them. I remember Pikmin Adventure the best because, you know, it's Pikmin. It's like a full-fledged game on top of the rest of the content. Like, if Pikmin Adventure was just a standalone game, a lot of people would hate it, but I really enjoyed that. And that's really why this belongs in, I don't know, B or A tier. Put in B tier just because, I don't know, there are some mini games like the Donkey Kong one where you have to roll that cart. It's just so annoying. And it's really the only game, along with Pikmin 3 and Wonderful 101, I think, that use the gamepad to, you know, to actually help you play the game as required. I really like it. I'm sorry. New Super Mario Bros. 2. I really liked this game when I first got it. I love the coins, I love the levels, the level design was great, the world design was great, and the whole concept of getting a lot of coins, the extra modes like coin rush packs and stuff. I played it a lot. I got my copy used because I didn't have a 3DS until like 2016. I think I'll just put it in the same tier as New Super Mario Bros. U, just because it wasn't really that special. It's the third game in the series. The coin angle is great, and the visuals are awesome. I get so much nostalgia for it for some reason, which I can't really say for New Super Mario Bros. U. It's a C tier game for me. New Super Mario Bros. DS. I'm going to put it in B tier just because it was a return to form that really didn't exist in Mario games since Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island. And really, that was a Yoshi game instead of a Mario game. I really like the two-player mode where you can battle. I played that a lot with my friends. I like the mini games that were also in Mario 64 DS, which I'm included with Mario 64 down here, if you could see it. Yeah, it's a B tier game. It's decent. It's pretty good. Next is Mario Bros. Wii, and this was the first Mario Bros. Game I played, and I have a lot of nostalgia for it for some reason. I remember almost every level. You can pretty much ask me what's in X level, and I will remember it, and I will tell you exactly how, you know, not exactly, but you know what I had a lot of fun with this. The multiplayer thing, it's just kind of all over the place though. They say Mario Party and Mario Kart ruin friendships, but this is the real thing. This is the real game that ruins friendships. It's an A tier game for me. I really enjoyed it, and the art style I liked. Pikmin 2 is S tier. I look back on it and I can see how terribly unbalanced it is, and just how broken all the mechanics are, especially the purple Pikmin, and how little you use red Pikmin throughout the entire game. It deserves to be an S tier just because there was so much stuff to do in it. Like challenge mode, and all the caves, 200 treasures to collect. You could go back to the planet even after you collected all the treasures. The only problem is that the caves weren't really that memorable. I remember them personally, just because I played it so many times. Like, I kind of like how they use randomly generated caves, just because you can mod the game so easily. There's so many Pikmin 2 hacks. Well, not so, I say so many, as in, compared to other Pikmin games. Although I have played a couple Pikmin 3 ones, but we'll get to that game. And how they did it to save space, which probably was for the better, because they could fit all of the challenge mode and 2-player battle stages on there, and the title screen. There's so much going on in the title screen. Watch Scruffy's video. It still deserves to be an S tier. Pikmin 3 and Pikmin 3 Deluxe is S tier as well. As you can see, I'm a big Pikmin fan. Pikmin 3 is my favorite game. The atmosphere and the worlds that they created, they really immerse me. And the mechanic of getting juice so you don't die kind of is a blend between Pikmin 2 and Pikmin 1's mechanics, where Pikmin 2 is just, on limited days, who cares? When Pikmin 1's, crap, your air supply is running out, and you only have this amount of time to complete the game. Pikmin 3D kind of like, is like, you set the pace of how fast you're gonna complete the game. You know what I mean? That's why I really like it. And of course, the side stories, the boatload of challenge mode levels, they're all great. I mean, I had so much fun playing it. And I'd play it again. I played it like a ton of times. And the reason it's better than Pikmin 2 is because it's not horribly unbalanced. And even though the purple Pikmin were just terrible, I wish they fixed that, and I wish they added more enemies. But I can understand why they removed some, because like having like 5 different Bulborbs is kind of a bit much. It's my favorite Pikmin. It's my favorite game of all time. I may have a few downsides with it, but the upsides really outweigh the downsides. Like, the pros outweigh the cons vastly. And as you can see, I'm putting Pikmin 1 in S tier as well. It's probably my least favorite of the 3 mainline Pikmin games, just because, I mean, of course it was the first one, so I have to give it credit there, but as a game itself, the 30-day time limit I was really stressed about when I first got it, and I liked how the controls were really the same as Pikmin 2's, because, you know, I could get used to them, and how you collect all the ship parts, and you don't even need all of the ship parts. I don't even know where to begin. It just had the least content of all the Pikmin games, and I liked playing a game using its mechanics for a lot longer. That's why I like the new Super Mario Bros. Games, because there's just so much stuff to do in them, other than the main story. Pikmin doesn't really have that. I mean, it has challenge mode, which is just basically you go into the areas and get as much Pikmin as possible, which makes sense. But I just don't think it's as good as the other game's side content. Pokemon Platinum. I've only played this once, and it was a randomizer. But I don't remember actually needing to grind it all in order to beat some trainer or gym leader or something. And the areas and story were great. Gen 4 is my favorite generation of Pokemon and games. So I think I'm just going to put it in A tier. I don't know, B tier. There's a lot of backtracking, which I don't really like that much. But I can see why they did it. And it was just kind of interesting to explore old areas in a new way. You know what I mean? The story was great too. Pokemon Soul Silver is a solid. I really want to put it in S tier, but you know what? Screw it. It's my favorite Pokemon game of all time. It and White 2, which I'll get to in a minute, were my 2 favorite Pokemon. Even though it's a remake, a lot of people say this, but it's the best remake. And I wish that Game Freak did more things like it. They put a lot of effort into it. You could tell, like, through all the extras and refining the original game, like adding Gen 4 stuff to it, making it so that you could get a lot of Pokemon. I played it a bunch of times, actually on my channel is a Nuzlocke. You could check that out. Yeah, I don't really have much more to say, because what is there to say? It's a great game. Ultra Moon. I'm including regular Sun in this as well, because they're almost the same. There's only a few select differences. I'm just including the better version. Ultra Moon, they expanded the Pokédex, and it's fundamentally a better game than regular Sun and Moon. For some reason, I never really liked Alola that much. I only finished it like the week before Sword and Shield came out because I felt I had to. It had a really nice shiny hunting method, which I still should do. I want more shinies. It could have been better, so I'm putting it in C tier. White 2. This is the first Pokemon game, as I mentioned earlier, that I played. I like what they did. It was like it's like what Ultra Sun and Moon should have been, even though they came out after. It's like they could have done a lot more with Ultra Sun and Moon, and I feel like White 2 is kind of the template for what a remake in the same generation should look like. They added new areas, Gym Leader, Victory Road. Like this game has like twice the amount of content as in the main story, just because the post game is so huge. And I feel like that's really what the main thing is. I haven't even beat the post game, and I've had this game since 2017 or 2016. I don't remember which year it was. But yeah, I'm putting in A tier, just under Soul Silver. I mean, these are interchangeable, really, for me, depending on which one I play. Pokemon Sword and Shield leaves a lot to be desired, and I feel like the only reason I have nostalgia for it is because of the visuals. I have no nostalgia for it, like the gym puzzles or fighting any trainers or anything. I'm putting it in C tier just because, and the shiny hunting method was just BS. It doesn't even work right. It's just terrible. The shiny hunting method, I mean, not the game itself was, I mean, it was a critical success just because, you know, and removing half the Pokemon was controversial. I made a video about that on my channel. It really isn't that good. You shouldn't watch it. And it didn't really do what they promised to do. The polish is just terrible. It's terribly polished, and it's really the biggest problem with it. And the wild area is terrible. It's boring, except for that one area called the Dusty Bowl, which is the only unique area in the entire wild area. Super Mario 64 is up next. This may be controversial, but I hate this game. I can understand why. It's so nostalgic. It was so revolutionary back in the 90s. ROM hacks are just so much better than this game. Like, a lot of the levels just look terrible, and then a lot of the other levels just look great. Like, Womp's Fortress is one of the better looking levels, and then Rainbow Ride is just terrible. And the camera controls and mechanics, I just don't like them. And TikTok Clock I hate. Maybe it's just that I'm not good at the game, but who cares? I'm putting it in D tier. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but for people who watch this video. Smash 4. My biggest problem with this game is that it just wasn't... After playing Ultimate and how refined, all around great that game is, going back to this game just isn't as good. And there's really no reason to play it anymore. For me, at least. So I'm gonna put it in C tier because of that. Just Ultimate's so better. Just play Ultimate. It has everything in that this game has, and more. Mario Galaxy and Galaxy 2. First of all, Mario Galaxy 2, I feel like they just built on Mario Galaxy 1. I like how there's more stages, like galaxies, but I feel like that was at the sacrifice of taking away the exploration of each individual level to its max that Galaxy 1 had. And Mario Galaxy is my favorite Mario game by far. I got it when I was like 7 or something. I don't even remember how old I was. And I immediately loved it. It looks great for the Wii. It controls beautifully. The music is great. I have both games saved on my iPhone 3G, the soundtracks. Mario Galaxy 1's is better, in my opinion. Mario Galaxy 2 just doesn't have the same magic as Mario Galaxy 1, so that's why I'm putting Galaxy 2 in A tier and Galaxy 1 in S tier. I just feel like Mario Galaxy 2 didn't really change much from Mario Galaxy 1, other than adding Yoshi. I mean, in terms of mechanics, obviously the levels are different, and the hub is different. Although, the hub in Mario Galaxy 2 is much worse, in my opinion. There's not as much to explore, which is what I really like to do. Mario Maker 2. They improved so much from Mario Maker 1. But I feel like they still could have done more. I would pay for DLC that had a Mario Bros 2 game style. If they just didn't add the mushroom to... I would have paid extra for a, I don't know, Super Mario Galaxy game style. If they could implement like a 2D section like how some levels were. That being said, what they did do was so much better than what they didn't do. Adding 3D World as a separate game style, no one expected that. Nobody expected that. And Mario Maker itself is just a great concept, because it's like, you get to control what is in the game. The world map feature was, who would have expected that to be added? Just for that reason. I haven't played it in a while. I have a lot to do, okay? I really don't want to put in B tier, but I feel like I like it the same as Platinum. And Mario Maker 1, I'm putting in C tier. Actually, no, I'll put in the same tier. I was really excited for this game when it first came out. It's such a cool concept, even though they improved so much on Mario Maker 2. In fact, you know, I'm putting Mario Maker 2 in A tier. Mario Maker 1, it was a good starting point. I feel the same way about like how I feel about Pikmin versus the rest and the rest of the games in the series, or the main series. Next we have Splatoon. I only just finished this a few days ago because my gamepad broke. I couldn't play. The game was unplayable because of that. Luckily I fixed it last year and finished it. I can't really figure out any problems I had. It's been so long since I played the rest of the levels that I don't really remember some. I remember being obsessed with this game. I'm putting it in A tier. I don't know what to say about it. Overall, great game. Love the character designs and the story. I watched a video about the story because I didn't remember it at all. And the controls, albeit different, as opposed to other first-person shooters, or even third-person shooters, are just implemented really well with the gamepad, although you don't really need the gamepad to play it. Next is Terraria. This is my favorite sandbox game. If you can really call it a sandbox game. I guess it is. There's really no time limit, and there's a story and the progression. And you know, a lot of people say it's 2D Minecraft, but that's just wrong on so many levels. I like the linear progression, and the dungeons and the cave systems just won't work as well in 3D. But I'm gonna put it in A tier. I had a lot of fun with it. And the fact that they keep adding content is just amazing to me. Even though it's 10 years old now. And well, Minecraft is older, but still. This game, I said it, that there was gonna be the last major update so many times. But yet they still add more. And there's so many Easter eggs in it too, that Minecraft just doesn't have. That's why I like it more. And there's just so much more you could do than Minecraft in the survival mode. If I want to play a survival game, I'm playing Terraria over Minecraft. Zelda Twilight Princess. I'm putting in S tier because it's the first Zelda game I've played. I don't know. I can't describe in words how amazing it felt to play this game. It's like the Super Mario Galaxy of Zelda games. It gave me the same feeling that Super Mario Galaxy did when I first played it. I've yet to play more Zelda games. I have Skyward Sword and Wind Waker that I'm going to play. Don't worry. I might update this tier list later. It was just an amazing experience. And the dungeons were really well executed. I don't have any problems with it, just like Mario Galaxy or Soul Silver or Double Dash. Surprisingly enough, Pikmin 3 I do have problems with, but the things I really like about it are so much more than the problems I have. That's why it's my favorite game. Universe Sandbox. Despite its name and what you do in it, I have over like 200 hours on this game just because of how fun it is. And for that reason, not D tier, I'm putting it in B tier. It gets boring after a while, and sometimes I just load it up, want to do something, and then just don't. If you know what I mean? So yeah, that's why it's B tier. Although it's really fun. If you really get into it, it's really fun to play. Destroying planets and stuff. Watch Dogs and Watch Dogs 2. I don't know, I treat them as driving games, really. Kind of like GTA clones. You know, they're a little bit different with the hacking and all. I haven't really done very many missions in them. I'm just gonna put them both in C tier just because they're great games, like in terms of mechanics and overall quality. I'm just not really a huge fan of, you know, shooters like that and beat 'em ups. I don't even know what genre they would be. Like, it's funny to mess around with the AI in the game. I haven't played Watch Dogs 2 in forever, and Watch Dogs, it improves a lot, but I don't know, Watch Dogs, I like driving around. I like the exploration of this game. Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort. I'm putting in B tier because I had a lot of fun as a kid playing these, and I still do. And that's really all there is to say about them. They're just fun. It's just virtual sports. What can go wrong with them? I mean, unless you're elf bowling, but I'm not elf bowling here. Anyway, that's gonna be it. I hope you like my tier list. I will put this on Instagram before this video goes up for the 3 of you who follow me on Instagram. Yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.